Here is how systems of inequalities meets real life. I'm going to do a story problem for you. You're planning what to do after school. You can spend at most 6 hours daily playing basketball and doing homework. You want to spend less than 2 hours playing basketball. You must spend at least 1.5 hours on homework. What is a graph showing you how you can spend your time? Well, we're going to start with our let statements like we usually do. So let x equal number of hours for basketball. I'm just going to put b-ball here. And let y equal the number of hours for studying. Alrighty. I know most of you guys would like to play basketball more than you study, but we're going to have to follow this one. So I'm going to start with the first let statement, or not the first let statement, but the first equation. And it says you can spend at most 6 hours playing doing both. And so the hours for basketball plus the hours for studying is at most 6, which means it can be less than or equal to, it just cannot be more than. And then the next one is you want to spend less than 2 hours playing basketball. So the number of hours playing basketball is less than 2. Now, unlike things that you've seen so far, this story problem actually has a third equation. You must spend at least 1.5 hours on homework. So y is going to be greater than or equal to 1.5. All right, now we're going to go ahead and graph these. And all we need is quadrant 1, because we're not going to do any negative hours. And the x value for basketball is going to go across the bottom, and the y value for studying is going to go up and down. And it looks like the highest number we're going to get is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll start with the first one. I'm just going to, this is easy to graph standard. If I put a 0 in for y, x is 6. And if I put a 0 in for x, y is 6. And we'll go ahead. This is a solid line. Boom. And then the next one, x is less than 2. You remember x is a vertical line, and it's going to be at the 2, and it's dashed because it doesn't have an equal sign. And then finally, y is greater than or equal to to 1.5, and that is right here. And again, y's are horizontal. So now I have to start looking at it going, all right, where do all of these meet? And as you look at it, the first one is less than, so it's going to be under. It's going to be going this direction. And the next one, it says x is less than 2, which is going this direction. And finally, the other one, y is greater than or equal to 1.5, which means it's going this direction. And as you can see, they're going to meet right in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and shade that area in. Right? And basically what this means is this. If I do 1 hour of basketball, I can do anywhere from 1.5 up to about 5.5 hours of studying. If I do 2 hours of basketball, then I can go up to about 4 hours of studying.